Briefing note, Kepler's Lieutenant Christy Hayes is interrogating Commander Kaufman and Commander Kristoff in regards to the events otherwise known as Illuminae Files.
Hey everybody, it's Christy from Tales of the Ravenous Reader, and I am here with the amazing Jay Kristoff and Amie Kaufman. We are so thrilled that they are here in Menlo Park today and heading over to Oakland.
Yeah.
Two events in one day.
Yeah, we're hardcore.
Yeah.
Across the bridge.
That's
In the
pretty-
rain.
In the rain. It hopefully will be kind to you. We are here supporting Obsidio. Oh my gosh. So all the screaming and rage to you two for this. This is...
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Not sorry.
So I'm curious, what along the way, you now are 3 books into the series, it's done, it's over with. What's one question you would have wished somebody would have asked you along the way?
I mean, apart from things like, you look really hungry, would you like something to eat? Just what I'm usually...
Now we know for future events.
I'm usually hoping someone will ask me that. I think we always hope people will discover the little Easter eggs that are in there. 'Cause there are Easter eggs in there from, like, I mean, Star Trek, The Princess Bride, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Firefly.
Bands that we like, movies that we've seen. And you would almost have to be Amie and I mushed together to get them all, because Amie puts references in. For example, in the 3rd book, she's got Hamilton references, and I've never seen Hamilton. So I
he
didn't
doesn't
get
know where
any
they
of
are.
them. And
Did you point them out to him along the way?
Oh no, I refuse
No.
to tell him. He can watch Hamilton and figure it out.
Sure. And there's bands that I listen to that Amie has never heard of, so there are lyrics paraphrased in there that she will never get. There's a joke in book 3 that Amie wrote about our dogs that no one in the world will ever get except me and Amie. She wrote it to make me giggle, and I do giggle every time I see it, so yeah.
You do have the cutest dogs.
We do. Our dogs are more popular on our Insta stories than we are.
Yeah.
Okay, you said it, I didn't have to say it. So that's fine.
we know the truth. But yeah, so we always hope people will ask us about those Easter eggs.
And it's always a thrill when the first person discovers them. For example, at the talk today, someone noted that the handwriting in book 3 with the notes between Rhys and Asha is actually our handwriting. So
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
noticed that
Hikari,
first
for
time.
that.
Yeah,
Folded
Hikari
Pages
noticed it.
Distillery. She found that one
Sherlock
out.
Holmes being honest.
She was like, it looked familiar. It's
Yeah.
like, that's a little bit creepy.
Hikari is
That's fine.
amazing.
She is amazing. You totally figured that out. So you promised along the way that we would find out who security footage analyst was, and you totally delivered on that. I did not see it coming, and let's not spoil it, but can you tell me at what point you figured out that's who it was going to be?
Yeah, so security footage analyst person got an unexpected fandom. We
Yeah.
didn't see that coming. And
Not at all.
that voice is actually the most merged we get. Most characters, one or the other of us took the lead. This is actually the one voice where we both wrote it evenly.
Yeah, it's quite strange.
And at the during this book 1, we actually didn't know who it was going to turn out to be, although we knew we would figure it out.
Right.
Because when we started writing book 1, we didn't think the book would ever get published.
No,
we thought
so
it
we
was
didn't-
just too weird, so we didn't plan that
We
far
didn't need to
ahead.
answer questions like that, no.
But by the time we had finished writing, when book 1 was just about to go to print, we knew roughly who it was going to be. So we went back and did a pass for language and made it consistent with the character that it eventually became. So originally it was just kind of a god's eye view, but then we discovered that it was actually going to be a character in the series. So it was kind of late in the day of the first book cycle that we realized it.
Actually, that's a little bit sooner than I thought it was going to be, so that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. My friend Kelly was interested in the accent. Did you guys have a choice in the accent? Was there a thought process? Because we listened to the audiobook.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
sure.
there's a very charming British accent.
Yes.
And we talked about a lot of ways to disguise who that person was, and we talked about maybe distorting the voice.
Yeah.
But they're pages and pages and pages, and it would be quite tough to listen to a million pages of that. So
But we didn't want to give it away.
we didn't want to be the
Right.
voice of the person.
As soon as you
it
heard
is.
that voice in the
You would
audiobook of
know.
book 2, you would immediately know who it was.
So
and-
in the end, we just picked a great voice that didn't sound the same, because we thought, well, they're trying to hide who it is, so they would hardly
get someone else to read it.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. So talking a little bit about the science components, which are, we love your science facts of the day, by the way. Just love that. Are there facts that you've learned along the way that are really shocking, and what of your own knowledge has been challenged along the way?
I mean, originally we're science fiction nerds. We've been watching Star Trek and Star Wars and whatever since we were yay high. So a lot of our initial ideas about the way space worked, we got from Hollywood, and Hollywood will
Shocker.
sacrifice. Hollywood will sacrifice fact for the sake of spectacle. So the example that we always use is the airlock trope, when someone is inside an airlock and the door gets opened and they get shoofed out into space. That actually doesn't happen in real life. In real life, you would feel a stiff breeze and then you would just suffocate and die. But it doesn't look great on film, and so Hollywood has you shoof out into space instead. But all along the way, we had those little...
Continually learning, yeah. And often when we found out the science behind something, it was actually better than what we could possibly make up. Like, we had a doctor help with the Phobos virus, and it got scarier by far once we got a doctor involved. And she started giving us, we were like, oh my god, that can happen to a person? So...
Anytime we talk about that virus, because we did the Illuminae reread,
Right.
And so anytime we're talking about the virus within the reread, inevitably along the way the throw up emoji comes along. So
very, very sweet Dr. Kate, who's a pediatrician, helped us with that. So I bore your pediatrician with some caution, people.
Oh my gosh, that is something else. This question comes from your friend cake maker Jess. So thank you for this question, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hal versus Gladys versus Aiden. Discuss who would win. What would it be like?
It would depend entirely upon the arena of battle.
I was going to say.
GLaDOS is self-contained within, the complex and the portal system. Hal is self-contained on a ship. I mean, if they're all at full strength, Aiden, because Aiden's aboard a warship.
Yeah.
So Aiden could bomb GLaDOS from orbit, and I would put the Alexander up against the ship that Hal was on.
Hal's on any day of the week.
So probably Aiden. And I realise it's, kind of silly to put your own character forward, but Aiden would win.
Yeah. I would say that's accurate.
Yeah.
Aiden's probably a little more complex and calculating the other two as well.
Yeah, Aiden schemes more.
Although GLaDOS is kind of a schemer, but GLaDOS is ultimately limited within a certain physicality, and Aiden's a water warship. So,
We'll just put Kady in the middle of it, and there's just no question
about
that, right?
Kady and Aiden could beat almost anyone or anything, so that's,
It's true. So you both have other series that you write. You have a new series coming out. You've got a continued series out this year, plus all these different things that you're doing, right? So
we're fine.
I was going to ask, do you sleep? What's going on there?
There's actually 3 of me. This is just one. There's 2 more back in Australia writing books as we speak.
I kind of think that's the only way you can do it, right? And especially since you're writing books on your own as well, right?
Yeah.
So what can we expect from Ice Wolves and from Lifelike and Undying and Dark Dawn and the soon-to-be-named trilogy. Trilogy, right? Yeah.
Alright, well let's give you the really quick version of each one. So Ice Wolves is middle grade fantasy, it's got wolves, it's got dragons, it's got magical inventions, it's got shapeshifters, and it's the book I wrote for 12-year-old me, who used to read under the covers, and my hope is that when people read it, they will feel like 12-year-old them, who's doing just the same thing.
And your very first...
It's my very first solo book, so if you've ever wondered what I sound like on my own, this is your chance.
And Lifelike is my first solo YA. I've done kind of adulty crossover stuff with Nevernight and Lotus Wars, but Lifelike is pure YA. It's a post-apocalyptic action adventure that's kind of a cross between Romeo and Juliet, Mad Max Fury Road, and Blade Runner. As in good old Blade Runner with Harrison Ford, not bad new Blade Runner with Ryan Gosling, because... so that's out at the end of May.
Then comes Dark Dawn
Then comes Dark Dawn, which will probably be out in November. It's up on Goodreads this September, but maybe not. But we're doing a cover reveal for that on the 27th of March, which is next week.
It's coming.
Yeah, and it's amazing. So that'll be out in November. And then you have Undying coming in January.
Yep, so Undying is the sequel to Unearthed. Unearthed ended on a giant cliffhanger, so
yes,
I don't want to
I just finished it.
Yeah, sorry, not at all. But Unearthed is kind of our Indiana Jones teams up with Lara Croft in Space book, and all I can say is that, things get worse in book 2.
Is it a duology?
It is a duology.
Okay, good, so we get answers.
Although there is a cliffhanger at the end of book 1, all will be revealed by the end of book 2. And then will come our next joint project.
Yeah, which is up on Goodreads at the moment as the Andromeda Cycle, but we've changed the name because it's no longer it's no longer set in the Andromeda Galaxy. Basically, it's set in the Milky Way, but the Milky Way cycle sounds like a chocolate bar, not an epic action adventure in space. So we've changed the name, and we'll reveal that in the next 2 months.
Yeah. And that's kind of our Guardians of the Galaxy meets Six of Crows book. It's a ragtag group of losers and misfits from an intergalactic military school who end up having to save the universe. And they're not the heroes we deserve, they're just the only ones we could get.
I love that. Well, I can see now why you won't be coming back to visit us anytime soon. I don't know when you would have time to get on a plane and come over here. You sound very busy.
We'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
We should be back next year.
Yeah, next year. Okay, well, that sounds good. That sounds good to me. Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And if you haven't checked out Illuminae and Gemina and Obsidio yet, I recommend them on audio while you read along with them, but any way you read them
is
way to
okay
read
by
them.
us. Yeah.
Just send your screaming tweets to these two because
We're used to it.
We're used to it by now.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks so much.